Come on and sing along. All night long. All night. All night long.
Well, it's been a long time coming, but it's the debut, if you will,
Initial debut.
initial debut of the all night long wrestling podcast. We'll be your hosts. I guess, you can call me Mike. I also go by the Enforcer, and we have Joe here, better known as the Midnight Stallion, the Stallion. Really, whatever you prefer.
Yeah. We're going to be the hosts because, there's really no guests or anything else, so we're just going to play all the parts in this thing.
That's really what we do. That's what we're here for. Ah! Multi-talented. I have a face for radio, I've been told.
Yeah. Should we be doing this while we're drinking Yinglings? Is that...
If I have learned a lot from pro wrestling, and I feel like one of the things I learned that stuck with me is that Jay Briscoe drinks a Yingling, and he's in shape, and he's one of them boys.
He's a well-respected individual.
He is. He's one of them boys. So we
just following in his footsteps.
Just sit back and drink a Yingling with the Tap Out Boys. But I mean,
That's how I do it.
I feel like we have to start with the current state of the WWE.
Something WWE to hook everybody in, right?
Yeah.
Get the fanboys in.
I'm looking to get the 4-year-old kid with the John Cena Rise Above Hate bandana.
Don't hate, dude. I wore a John Cena workout tee today to the gym. So.
That was a John Cena workout tee.
That's true, yeah. Absolutely.
That was super tight around the arms. Was that by design?
It's the only size they had left.
Youth medium.
Youth medium.
Youth medium, yeah. Well, they are the marketing genius. Let's...
Actually, can we start with that? So, with Cena, I read an interesting article not long ago about him since he won the U.S. title.
Okay.
So, there's two schools of thought. The anti-Cena school of thought, which is
everybody above the age of 15.
Right. Right.
Except for this guy.
And all of our friends. Yeah.
And all of our friends. Yeah, that's true.
So that school of thought is that, so now that he has the U.S. title, he's fighting guys that are in the mid to upper card.
Okay.
And not necessarily elevating them in the sense that he's beating all of them, right? He's taking all their finishers, kicking out of their finishers, and then beating them clean in the middle of the ring. So guys like, I think he beat Wade Barrett.
Stardust,
and I think he beat Dean Ambrose too.
Okay.
In the last couple of weeks. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is people that think he's elevating the United States title, making it seem more important, and working these mid to upper carders in matches and having really good matches with them and kind of getting them maybe more over or more respected with the fans, even though he's beating them.
Okay.
So where would you fall on that side of the coin of that discussion right there? Where would you feel?
Well, anybody that knows me knows I'm a John Cena mark probably since he mentioned about throwing his nuts in The Rock's face in that one rap. So, John Cena is not going to be a Daniel Bryan. He's not going to be a CM Punk. He's not going to be the best technical wrestler on the planet. But he should be beating these guys because he was in the main event picture. For, agree or disagree, he was in the main event. He was in the main event picture, and it's very similar to the Intercontinental title, but he would lose a lot of his luster if he were to lose to Stardust via the hell's the name of that move?
I don't know. It's not Crossroads. I don't know what it is.
It's okay. It's not the Crossroads. But, you can't have John Cena lose to a Stardust. If anything, I mean, you're talking about guys like Wade Barrett and Dean Ambrose, which nobody's been doing, and now John Cena's getting people to talk about them. So I am part of the pro-Cena. I'm part of the pro-Cena Nation.
That's fair. I think that's fair. So I think I'm okay with it on one condition.
Can we sweet the fact that we agreed on it?
All right.
Too sweet.
So I'm okay with it on one condition, and that is that when he loses the title eventually, whenever that may be, that he loses it cleanly to somebody and puts them over. So I don't want it to be one of those like schmoz finishes where somebody distracts him and he gets rolled up for a pin, or like somebody comes in and whatever, and the title just goes back to like Wade Barrett or somebody like that. If he legitimately puts over somebody that needs it, and I don't mean that like a guy like Dolph Ziggler who's already had those titles and really probably doesn't really need
and Dolph
that.
Ziggler's busy in a Kiss My Ass match, so that's neither.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. That's just gonna make me angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if he beats somebody like that, now I don't know the best guy for that, but maybe if this happens a couple of months down the road, a guy like Neville, who is already up and jobbing to guys, even though he's putting on good performances, right?
Yeah.
He's already up and jobbing to the guys in the middle, or somebody from NXT that hasn't come up yet. Whoever that might turn out to be, if that's like a Finn Balor or whatever, something like that. So if he can, because if he's going to do this open challenge deal for like a while and just keep beating guys, it's going to get old really quick. So he needs to get to a point where he's going to drop to somebody. I think he just needs to drop to somebody that's actually going to benefit from the win over John Cena.
I'm going to branch out to two different branches on the tree here. One, I don't think we have to worry about that because if the WWE has proved anything to me, it's that they are coherent bookers and they understand the people. So I think we're going to be fine.
How many Yinglings have you had?
I've had one Yingling.
Because that seems...
Seems
like a stretch.
I mean, let's be honest here. I think they're booking long term. For example, GTV. I'm still waiting to find out who's behind that.
Slow burn.
The slow burn. 16
You need
years
that.
later.
Yeah.
And two, where was I going with this?
By the
John
way,
Cena?
it's GTV. Goldust still employed. Just throwing that out there.
Back in the day, I said it. I was thinking that too. I also think that's a great idea on your part, as per usual. One of the NXT guys would be a perfect candidate to take it off of, John Cena. Now, follow-up question, because we're talking about John Cena. Who doesn't love to talk about John Cena? If and when he does drop the title, does he go back to the main event picture? How do you?
I mean, I think he's at a point where... Okay, so number one, I'm already biased. Let's throw this out there, because I do not want to see him win 16 world titles and break Ric Flair's record, so I do not want to see him fighting for the world title. However, I can see you plugging him into a month or two, or even just like a one-off month or something. If Rollins is still the world champion, you need a feud for him before SummerSlam or something like that. Maybe you could throw him back in there, or later in the year or something like that. Because usually September, October is when the Big Show main event push starts every year, and if we can avoid that at all costs, I think that
I call that the danger zone.
Yeah.
Because I just want to see another Big Show Mark Henry match. I feel like we could, and I feel like that would boost the SmackDown ratings.
Yeah. So if we can avoid that at all costs, I feel like that would be good. I mean, he can still do main event feuds. And just
Wait,
not
Big Show
be-
or John Cena?
John Cena, sorry.
Can we talk more about the Big Show?
No.
Okay.
Not on this podcast.
Got
No.
you. Okay. That'll be the all night long podcast online extended edition where it's just me talking about the Big Show.
If is there a dislike on YouTube? Because I don't know.
I could upload a video of you saying you don't like him and like that and share that.
Okay, I think that might be the better.
Let's do
the better
that.
course.
But no, I agree with you. I mean, John Cena is still. You hear the crowd reaction when he comes out. John Cena is still their guy. For how much longer? I don't know. But I don't want to unless you bring another guy in the main event picture.
Yeah.
You could bring John Cena in, but I don't think he needs another title run.
No, I don't think he needs another title run either. But
He's
said that a couple
got
years
Nikki
ago.
Bella.
He's already winning.
He's got Nikki Bella, and I've seen the video of him at the country bar shotgunning beers. So John Cena's got everything I need in life. I mean, we don't see that. This is how the Stallion and I do it. We don't have a sheet in front of us. We just kind of spitball.
You don't have a run sheet.
I don't have
You
a run sheet.
in front of
No,
us.
it's like ECW Living Dangerously '98. Just tear it up as soon as the event
There you
starts.
go.
Let's just go right to Adrian Neville because you brought up Adrian Neville and who's left for him to put over? How about somebody that we haven't seen that's still got a name like Tatanka?
Okay.
Can we have Adrian Neville put over Tatanka?
I was
Have a
thinking-
great match with him and then put him over.
I mean, he seems more than willing to do that.
He-
Given that he's won one match and
Who'd he beat?
he beat somebody the first week that he debuted. And I can't. It's escaping me now. I probably should have done research on this before.
This is what we do, baby.
He beat somebody the first week, and then he lost to Rollins, and then I know he lost to Ziggler. After that, the next 2 weeks,
And then Sheamus. He lost to Sheamus
and
last
Sheamus.
week.
That's
yeah.
right. Yes. Okay. So
He hit one of the gnarliest corkscrew 450s off the barricade that I've seen in a long time. And, well, it's a guy that can work and people seem to get behind, so why not have him drop to Sheamus?
See, I get again. I wouldn't do it personally. If I was writing the shows where I would have him lose all this stuff, to all these guys.
Right.
But I can almost see, the idea of putting him in matches with bigger stars and having him perform well and then lose at the end, but not after he's only been with like the main roster for a week or two.
Right.
Like if he was doing well for like a month or so or two, where he won like 6 or 7 matches in a row, and then you finally put him in a match with like Rollins, where you can then not that you build it up where like he's gonna beat Rollins for the title, but at least you could have said like, hey, this guy Neville's pretty awesome. He's won like 6 or 7 matches in a row. He's gonna fight Rollins. Title's not on the line, but now people are like, oh, this guy's actually really good. He can win a lot, and that way the near falls maybe mean a lot more and things like that. Instead, he ended up just jobbing to Rollins, and I
Jobbing
think that's
to-
the cleanest win Rollins has had in quite some time.
Which is good. He almost broke the Wade Barrett streak for most successful non-title losses. No, I agree with you about Neville. And Neville, he's got the look. I mean, he's 1'4" like I am, but the guy is built like a brick house, and he could do it all in the ring. And people, I don't think there's anybody on the main roster who can go like that, but who is allowed to go like that, if you will. He's still not doing a lot of the stuff he's done in NXT. I'm looking for him to bring out the reverse Hurricanrana. He doesn't do it as well as Candice LeRae. He doesn't.
Not many do.
Can we too sweet the world's cutest tag team? Yeah, there you go. Too sweet that.
You want indie on this podcast.
You got to give a little bit to everybody. I want the smarks listening to this, and I want people to tweet me and use #swerve, and
All age groups.
all age
All
groups. We're here for
communities,
everybody.
you know what I mean?
Men, women, children,
Prisoners.
prison. Yeah, we have a big prison contingent. I send out autographed pictures of Monique to those guys because they seem to really appreciate it the most. So, and Precious. I watched a lot of Precious lately. It's been a rough week. We're getting off topic, but I think. I mean, can we just spend 20 seconds on the Sheamus is a bully, Dolph Ziggler and him are gonna have a kiss my arse match?
I don't even want to. Okay, so this makes me angry. So, first of all, I don't understand the need for a kiss my arse match. I don't understand what that. I mean, I get why they think it's like, the loser's gonna get humiliated or whatever. I mean, for a
How
PG,
about a loser shaves his stupid head match?
That's actually would not be bad. For a PG show, I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. I don't know how like a 9-year-old's gonna sell that to mom and dad. Be like, hey, I'm gonna watch Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules, by the way, which is probably not the show you'd want your 10-year-old watching. But even beyond that, like, oh yeah, the loser of this match has to kiss the other guy's butt. Like that doesn't really seem.
I
just
feel
not
like
really.
I feel like Pat Patterson booked that match.
Oh, that's no Broken Roller.
Yeah, it was Steve Lombardi.
We're gonna go down
They
that.
actually just had a kiss my ass match in the back 30 seconds
Did they?
ago.
Was it non-sanctioned?
It was a
non-sanctioned.
non-sanctioned. It was a draw, so they had to kiss each other's. Ayo, that's I'm nauseous.
But
But
not gonna be any 10-year-olds listening to this podcast.
no,
I'll tell you.
there's not. There's not gonna be anybody listening to this podcast, let alone 10-year-old. So, without
BK's gonna listen to it.
BK, can we too sweet BK?
Too Sweet
BK. But how does Sheamus go? Like what? There's no build up. There's no Rikishi. Like what? Why would you go with a kiss my ass match?
I don't know.
Like
I
at
don't
least
know
there was
what
a
it is.
slow burn to the Bret Hart versus Jerry Lawler kiss my foot match.
Is that really? No, I guess you're obviously anybody who's listening. A lot of Mike's.
All three of you.
Yes, all three of you. Mike's a big time ECW fan growing up. Right?
True, very
so much more than I was. I followed it, but you were much more into it and know a lot more about it than I do. So would you consider a kiss my arse match extreme? In what way is that extreme to you?
Well, I will tell you, unless Missy Hyatt is involved in that,
She's extreme.
she's extreme. She did some extreme things to a young dancing Stevie Richards. But no, I would not consider that an extreme rules match.
Okay.
And to me, Extreme Rules isn't three guys going through a table throughout the entire night in the same. I mean, much like a table. If you could just, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest, I haven't watched much TNA lately, but their Lockdown pay-per-view.
All in the cage.
Yeah, who gives a shit if Sanjay Dutt is wrestling the opening match in a cage? You know, if you have every single match on the card via stipulation match, just for the sake of it being a stipulation match, you're taking away the purpose of the stipulation match.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the WWE, and I'll call them pay-per-views because I don't really know what else to call them anymore. But
Shitty ways to spend 3 hours on a
well,
Sunday.
so that's the thing. Like, it's kind of funny to say now because like 2 years ago or whatever it was, we were paying $50 a month or whatever it was to watch all these crap pay-per-views, right?
60
Like,
in high definition.
60 in high
60 in
def.
high def.
So we were paying all this money, but like now I look at it, and we subscribe to the network, right? So we have subscriptions for that, and it's only $10 a month, so it's actually kind of like
It's $9.
oh, excuse me, that's bad
I'm
advertising
wearing
on
the
my part.
shirt for God's sake. $9.
man.
I'm kidding. I'm not. I wouldn't.
Triple
spend-
H would smack me in the face. Right?
Triple and then have his wife put you over, and then bring Ronda Rousey out. But I'm not. I digress.
We're not going to get into
I'm.
that.
I'm so. I don't want to talk
Let's,
about it.
oh man, we'll circle back to that.
Yeah, we'll have the circle back.
But anyway, my point was just going to be that if the network was not $99 a month and we were getting the pay-per-views on the network, I don't see how you can justify as a wrestling fan wanting to watch these shows with things like a Kiss My Arse match and, kind of stupid gimmicks and Kane and Big Show in high-profile matches and things like that. I say that now, knowing that 2 years ago we were paying that money and it was still at that point. But I just don't see how I just don't think people would get their money's worth paying $50 or $60 a month for these shows, and then spending 3 hours watching this stuff when a lot of it doesn't deliver. That's why, I think from a wrestling standpoint, if you're a more matured wrestling fan and you're looking for better quality wrestling and storylines, that a company like ROH or is a good way to go because now they're on pay-per-view. Or if you're just interested in good wrestling matches in general and you want to order stuff from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, we've done that. We've started doing that a little bit on our end too.
We just watched Bola 2014.
Yeah, Bola 2014.
All 3 discs, and
So giving them a little bit of a free pop there, but
I expect 3 seats. Oh, I expect actually the 3 seats for that we're going to be given to the horsewomen for the next Bola for Bola 15.
That's rough.
So if Shayna Baszler could just give up her seat, give it to the real enforcer of the group, that'd be great.
So get more background for everybody. Mike is a avid follower of MMA. Is also a very very skilled MMA fighter in his own. So he is very
don't oversell me.
familiar
just in
with
case
it.
Shayna Baszler.
This is
listening.
all- this is
I would
all-
still grapple Shayna Baszler.
accurate statement.
Yeah, thank
Just
you.
throwing this out there.
All right.
So he has a hatred for.
I don't hate anything. I'm not a man full of hate. I'm a man full of strong dislike to the point where I get agita.
Okay, so you have Ajita.
I have Ajita.
So the horsewomen, as they call themselves, who I can't recite all their names, and frankly, they don't deserve to be mentioned on this podcast.
You want me to break? You want to break it down? Why?
Because they all lose except for Rousey, right? That's
Right,
generally
correct,
the
yeah.
term. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're all terrible except for Ronda Rousey. So Mike hates all of them, dislikes strongly
Thank you.
all of them.
Strong
excuse
dislike.
me,
Yeah.
and hated the segment at WrestleMania where they came out and Ronda came out, and had the segment with The Rock, Triple H, and Stephanie in the ring that ended with like a pseudo armbar on Stephanie.
It
or
was
whatever
brutal. Yeah, it was
I-
she had a whizzer, I think.
Loved every second of it. I can't stand Stephanie McMahon in general. Her character on TV, I think, is horrible for many many reasons. So anybody that can actually get over on her on a televised segment, I think that's really I enjoy any of those segments that I get
Well,
to see.
here's where I'm going to interject. I would rather watch Stephanie McMahon wrestle Alicia Fox in a 60-minute Iron Man match than ever see Ronda Rousey in a professional wrestling ring. Period. Again,
Strong feelings that you have on this topic.
I would rather watch Kalisto, a 3-hour highlight video of Kalisto.
Kalisto's actually not bad.
He's not bad. I'd rather watch Botchamania 406 starring Sin Cara.
Ryback.
Ryback is still poised for the main event, but I don't want to. It's just that the thing that bothers me. First of all, Ronda, you've only got a couple of minutes left until Cyborg makes her debut in the UFC, and then I'm not going to get there. But I just don't think I don't think it's fair to call a group of 4 women the 4 horsewomen, because Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke. And who's that chick? I forgot. She just got viciously knocked out. She was Ronda's judo partner. Nobody knows who they are. They can't recite their names. The 4 horsemen were the greatest faction of all time. Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, and Barry Windham. They were all champions. Jessamine, who you lost in the Ultimate Fighter, and no, you're like 0-0. We have the same MMA professional record. Shayna Baszler was good once when women's MMA was not a thing, and I can't even think of the other girl's name. Feel free to tweet me, BK who's listening, but I just don't. I don't want to see her at WrestleMania. I don't want to see her wrestling. I don't want to see her anything to do with her in a professional wrestling ring. So if we could just somehow get more Stephanie McMahon.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's get
we
more
can't.
Stephanie McMahon.
Do you know? Like, I mean, like I say I hate her, right? I mean, obviously, I could just say that, but like, do you like the reason why I hate her? Like, I actually have like a backed up reason why. I
cannot
don't like.
wait to hear this.
It's
Take
just
my
because
slippers off.
It's because it's get yourself comfortable. Yeah, this is gonna be good. So it's because the any segment that she's in, for the most part, right? Obviously, there are exceptions where I can remember that happening, but for the most part, she obviously portrays herself as one of the owners or the person who's running the show along with Triple H, right? When you're in that position, when Vince McMahon was in that position in the late 90s, right, early 2000s, where he was like the guy that ran the show, he was the owner. He was he would bully people, force them into things like handicap matches, whatever it was, but he would always at some point wind up getting his butt kicked by Stone Cold or The Undertaker or somebody. In the end, he always got, he always ended up
His
being the guy that
comeuppance,
lost. Yes.
if you will.
Yeah, so he would always be the guy to sort of, quote unquote, put the other guys over or whatever it is, for whatever sort of rub you would get from beating up Vince McMahon. But that's what people wanted to see. People wanted to see Vince McMahon get beat up by Steve Austin or whoever it was, at the time that was, the main event guy.
Test, if you will. Yeah.
Test, sure. Test. So, and even, so even you can say that. So Shane McMahon, same type of deal, right?
Yeah.
He would get into these matches with these guys. He didn't win very often, right? He
No,
fought
he
Test,
got
he lost. He fought
Dumped on his head 3 times by Kurt Angle. Almost died.
Kurt Angle, that was a great match. He fought Steve Blackman and put Steve Blackman over, right? So he went through all these matches. Kane had some sort of feud with Kane, right, when Kane got his unmasked or whatever it was. He lost a lot too. Stephanie McMahon does not fight or wrestle very often. She wrestled once last year, which is the first time she had wrestled in like close to a decade or maybe even longer than that. And she won because Nikki Bella turned on her sister for like 3 months.
Speaking of continuity, I don't even want to discuss.
Let's not even.
No.
Not
I
even.
don't even want to discuss the disgusting state of the Divas division.
But she never, ever, like, no one ever gets the upper hand on her. Like, even in verbal jousts, like, it's rare. Like, the only times I can remember it happening were, obviously, Rousey, that happened at Mania, and then when Vicky Guerrero was leaving, and she ended up being, like, storyline written out of things, she ended up, tossing Stephanie into, like, the mud pool or whatever it was. Like, it's very, very rare, and she kind of demeans the other wrestlers, whether they are male or female, that she's speaking to, like, during a promo or whatever it may be. Even the freaking Rock. She ended up screaming at him and then slapping him in the face. And what did he do? He walked out of the ring and had to get Ronda Rousey because he couldn't beat up a woman or whatever it was. She just does not get the other wrestlers over. She gets heat for herself, which is fine. But in the end, no one gets to see her get
Can
hers.
I interject?
Sure.
Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania last year.
Yeah, and okay, so do you remember? So that match.
But you know
right?
what? Triple H put him over.
Triple H put him over, and do you remember what happened after that? She came in the ring and she slapped him. Daniel Bryan. That's how. Right after that match was over, I believe she came in the ring and she slapped Daniel Bryan, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the main event, the triple threat, her and Triple H interfered during the main event of Bryan versus Orton versus Batista. So yeah, he won the title, and like well deserved on his part because he's great, but he never really got anything over on Stephanie McMahon other than just like the fact that he won the title, and obviously we know how that all turned out in a couple of months where he got hurt.
Can we get more Stephanie? Do you think she could?
I don't.
Can I see
just
her
wanna-
on main event?
I just went on a rant for 5 minutes about why would you want me to see more Stephanie?
Because I feel like this is good radio. Like this is entertaining.
I don't want more no more Stephanie. Can we? You know how happy
All right,
I was. Kayfabe. You know how kayfabe happy I was when the Authority got written off TV after Survivor Series, and they brought them back 4 weeks later.
Yeah, because Seth Rollins was going to curb stomp
Edge.
Edge, right?
Yeah.
This goes out to who's booking in PWG now? Gabe Sapolsky? No.
I'm not sure who books out there. I know like all those guys that founded it, like I don't know if it was Excalibur or
Right,
Joe Ryan and those guys. I'm not sure who the booker is. to be
Right.
honest with you.
Well, to those guys, I'm reaching out to you. Can you book Stephanie McMahon for a night?
No, please, for crying out loud.
I feel like
I like PWG, and I want to continue to watch PWG and order their DVDs and everything. But I can't. No, no, Stephanie, no.
I don't. She.
Now you
Ever
just feel like
since-
now you're just doing this to Ryan.
Now, ever since that Howard Stern interview a couple of years ago, I've really looked at her in a different light. But I'm not going to go
that's
there.
fair. That's fair.
They're
But
good
I'm
Christian
talking-
boys. Can we? Let's just. I have just sitting next to me. This wasn't even planned. I want to give a little bit of a shout out to the Young Bucks and to ProWrestlingTees.com. because I just got the new Super Kick Party.
And this
shirt.
is all on the level, right? We're not going to get sued for anything. We're actually
No,
trying
for
to get these
gimmick
guys
infringement? No, we're trying to
okay,
put
I just
them
want to make
over.
sure we're not going to get
Buck
sued.
Soldier Super Kick Party. Hashtag over. So I love pro wrestling tees. Also just got the Candice and Joey Ryan tee, World's Cutest Tag Team.
Can't go wrong.
So if, as Joe touched on before, if you think you appreciate a good wrestling match and you don't just want to see Floyd Mayweather knock out the Big Show, and I can't even think of the other shit that went on this year, or Buck Cherry singing WrestleMania, I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
If you want like an actual professional wrestling match where you'll as Taz would call it, you'll pop for certain spots and you'll be surprised at what you're seeing. You know, Ring of Honor and PWG are the two. I can't say Ring of Honor and PWG. Talking about Dragon Gate, Evolve,
Yeah, those are
FWE,
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer's House of Hardcore. But I would say Ring of Honor is probably your best bet right now. I would have said Impact a couple of years ago, but although you know what I like in Impact, Kong and Taryn Terrell, they've been killing it lately.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I have no idea what's going on. But I've watched Ring of Honor. It's free on their website, Ring of Honor, ROH Wrestling,
I think it's
ringofonor.com.
ROHWrestling.com.
ROHWrestling.com, or go to their Twitter. Just watch. You know what? I want everybody who's listening to this for me who's not watched Ring of Honor, go to YouTube, type in the Young Bucks Red Dragon, and watch 15 minutes and 55 seconds of the best wrestling match you'll ever see. And I promise you will not watch the WWE the same way the next week.
That's from War of the Worlds of 2014. Is that correct?
True.
So yes, Red Dragon and the Young Bucks from War of the Worlds 2014 for the ROH Tag Team Championships. That actually was the match. I'm pretty sure that got us into super into watching. Ring of Honor,
That was an accident. I put that on by accident while we were watching Ring of Honor on YouTube once, about a year and a half ago.
It's just those promotions that Mike mentioned are, bell to bell. If you like athleticism, if you like wrestling and things like good athleticism and good wrestling matches, those are the ones for you. If you are more interested in the entertainment aspect of it, and not that those promotions don't have that because they do, but that's sort of where WWE is more focused. And WWE does have some good matches in certain spots. It's just the presentation of it I feel like is a lot better in ROH and PWG and places like that where titles mean a lot more. I feel like.
What's a title? Was that the thing that who kept Wade Barry? Wade Barry? What was his name? Bad News Barry? I can't remember.
I don't.
Wait, he's the guy. Shit, tip my tongue. Wade Barry Horowitz. Bad News Barry. Shit. I'm gonna have to Google it because
He's the guy that was the Intercontinental Champion and then never won a match when he won the title.
That's
the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. They'll have some good matches there, but I feel like a lot of it is sort of retreads of things I've seen. Like I like Dolph Ziggler a lot. I've been a big fan of his for I don't know.
Let's get that really just about to the top Dolph Ziggler push, and then have him fall back down into obscurity, and he'll be teaming with fucking excuse my language, with the little bull Torito.
El Torito.
El Torito, yeah, the bull. We could always do that. That's something we could think about.
So I mean, I guess if you're looking for a comparison's sake of things, you look at the next couple of pay-per-views that are coming up. We got Extreme Rules coming up in a week.
If you have the network, watch it because it'll be free. Actually, if you have the network, here's what you do. At about 7 o'clock, go to YouTube and Google Ring of Honor. Watch 2.5 hours of Ring of Honor. And then when there's a half hour left in the WWE pay-per-view, start it so you can fast forward through all the stuff you never plan on watching.
That seems like a plan.
That's usually what we do every Sunday.
Yeah, sounds like that's not a bad plan. It's a suggestion. It's a friendly suggestion. So the next couple of reviews coming up are Extreme Rules, which I believe is a week from today, if I'm not mistaken. ROH has their Best in the World pay-per-view coming up in
there's
June.
something I wanted to say about that pay-per-view. Oh, yeah, that's right. Joe and I will be sitting front row.
That's right.
Too sweet
Yeah,
that.
Sorry about that. And then they have some shows before that. They have the New Japan shows, but that's their next pay-per-view is in June. And I don't
Tomorrow, they're actually announcing the New Japan matchups.
Oh, they are?
So that's something.
That's great. Something to look out for, too, for anybody who's interested in Ring of Honor. TNA may have a pay-per-view coming up. I think they might be doing like a legit Slammiversary or something like that. But I couldn't tell you because I honestly I feel bad TNA.
I don't want to talk about TNA because I
haven't
really know
watched it.
nothing that's going on.
But if you guys are looking to kind of try some different things, watch Extreme Rules, see how you like that. Obviously, if you're following WWE, but you might want to check out Best in the World from Ring of Honor on June 19th. It's a Friday night. Whether you can watch it live on pay-per-view or maybe even on iPay-per-view or
iPay-per-view, or if you
it's not that expensive. I think it's very very affordable. I
30
think it's for
bucks or
30
something
bucks
like
for
that.
pay-per-view. It's very old school.
If
like
you
it's,
want to, if you're looking to spend a little bit of money and you don't want to pluck down $30, sign up for the Ring of Honor Ringside Pass on their website, and you could watch all of the big events from 2014. So you could familiarize yourself, and you could watch War of the Worlds 2014.
So there you go.
You have that guy. What's his name? Kevin. It's on the tip of my tongue. Kevin, the guy who's signed for NXT and then you never see him anymore. He's supposed to do
Steen?
something. Nope, that's not it.
Owens?
Kevin Owens, right?
Kevin Owens.
You have that guy there.
Big fan of Kevin Owens. By the way.
Big fan of Kevin Owens.
Legit.
Good old.
That's a shoot. If anybody's listening, shoot.
He's white hot right now. He's wrestling Alex Riley. Good booking.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So those are the next couple of pay-per-views I think that are coming up. I mean, I think it's just good to watch those things for comparison. Maybe, it will come up. We're going to watch a couple of PWG shows as well, so we'll have some recommendations for you.
Gonna
guys.
watch the shit out of some PWG. We're actually gonna watch a little Black Hole Sun right now.
Do we before we wrap up? Do we want to take some callers? Is there any?
Is there
Do we
anybody
have
on the line?
Do we have a number? We don't have it.
We don't have a number. You could.
We don't have a number.
You could
Okay, so
you
we won't.
you could tweet us. Feel free to tweet us at NY Enforcer and.
At Joe Giacchetti actually is my handle.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
kind of lame. It's just my name. I feel like that's
We'll
weak.
fix that. We'll get it like at NY Stout. Can you get like a Bullet Club name at Silver Arrow Joe or some shit like that?
We'll workshop some of that. and see
Yeah,
how that goes.
we'll see
So,
see what gimmick isn't taken.
All right, so we're
At Mantar,
we're not
at the
gonna-
Goon.
At the Goon. So we're not going to take any callers then. guess,
I
'cause
don't
we
think
have a-
anybody's calling. Plus, we're recording this on my phone.
Oh right.
So
yeah.
as
that would
per,
probably be
yeah, that's.
All right. So I guess we'll wrap it up
We
there
can-
then. We'll come back.
It's a wrap.
With another one.
You know what I want to talk about in my next podcast? Excuse my language, but I'm fucking sick and tired of the way CM Punk is bashing professional wrestling.
Ooh.
Don't even. I'm the biggest Punk guy.
That's a teaser right there.
That is a teaser
for the next.
I learned that when I watched Lost. So a lot of
That's a good-
teasers from Lost. But no, I want to.
That's just a good show.
It was a good show. I got Poison Ivy. I watched like 7 seasons in 24 hours. No, I don't. Guy,
You got a lot of angst. You're a big CM Punk guy. You got
I'm
lot of
a
angst
big
for
CM Punk guy. I met CM Punk and he was a nice guy and we bonded over certain things. What we didn't bond over is jiu-jitsu. Because Google CM Punk's favorite submission, and there's like it's him showing, I think, Henna Gracie how to do a Kimura, and I like CM Punk, but it looks like Tiger Schulman's karate class.
Okay.
I'm tight right now. As
He's
my
tight.
as Jimmy
tight.
would
Yeah,
say.
this is no
I'm
good.
tight
He needs
right
to. We need
now.
to get this guy another beer. So
I need a couple of potato chips. I gotta
Okay.
come back down.
There you go. So we'll wrap it up. So the next podcast we'll talk about Mike's issues with CM Punk.
If we talk about
and,
Mike's issues, we could block out a good 6 hours.
So get put on a pot of coffee for that one, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about Extreme Rules, and we're gonna watch a PWG DVD here, Black
Cole's son.
So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. Give some.
You can talk about Adam Cole, who's one of the best in the business right now.
That's right.
Joe's the biggest Adam Cole fan. I'm just gonna stop talking because I
Maybe
can
a
go on forever.
mark, as it were. We're
You're-
gonna throw some insider terms in there.
Yeah,
I'm
you're-
a mark.
Like a